So just a little bit about the Houston Community Coalition. It was designed in a way to think about realistically having an alliance of groups that were reliable enough to comprehensively meet human needs in the city of Houston. So what we have here is a list of several groups that do great work, and what we like to do is allow each of them who have representative people here to come up and speak about the groups so everyone else can know, and then afterwards we'll just let everyone mix and mingle and gravitate to where their likes are, and hopefully foster new relationships to strengthen the community here in Houston.
Also, if you have any business cards or flyers and you haven't had a chance to put them over here, please do so. And when we finish, make sure to come check out everybody who's here. We do this every 3 months, so if you're enjoying your experience today, please spread the word, and then we'll see you in 3 months.
All right, so to get things started, the first on the list is Teresa with the Last Organic Outpost.
I know some don't, so I'm going to explain it. It's an urban farm. Joe Isett started it like 10 years ago, and it's off of I-10. So you go I-10, exit Waco and Hirsch, and it's in the 5th Ward. It's an acre, and it's farmed by volunteers, and we sell the produce. It's open every single day. So on weekends, it's open 9 to 4, and on weekdays, it's open 7 to 1 in the spring and summer, and 8 to 2 in fall and winter. And then on April 6th, we're having a skill share, and so we want everyone to come if you have anything to share. Like I know the Free Fingers are doing soap making, and they do really neat stuff, but things like that. And that's going to be open to the public, and it'll be very casual, and we'll have food. We'll probably have the pizza here for sure. There's projects going on every single weekend there. So it's open to the public. I have some flyers over here. We have a website, and we really would like to see y'all out there. Thank you.
All right. The next on the list is Tiffany Push with Green Arts Fest and Airlines.
Yeah. Coalition meeting, and so I just kind of wanted to come and put my face in front of all your faces and introduce myself. I stopped by the center a couple of weeks ago and spoke to a really nice, helpful young man whose name I can't remember right now. But I've spoken with Adam a couple times. I haven't gotten to meet him yet. Green Arts Fest is a 2-year-old organization. We started our annual event over at TBH, and my desire is to create the collaboration between artists and environmentalists, and to have sustainable art brought to the city as an alternative to the crappy art that's out there sometimes. Printed, all that stuff. Anyway, so I try to focus on non-toxic, all sustainable art. I'm not an artist. I'm sort of more of the introducer and connector. I've got a lot of artist people on my list and blah, blah, blah. I'm also the Educational Programs Director for Airlines Houston, which is located right over here on Commerce Street. And we're a 501c3 environmental group focused on clean air for your neighborhood. 311 is not getting the job done. Lots of problems with that. We've got some people on our list that you guys could get connected to who have a little bit more of a stronger voice in the politics of the East End. So we'd love for you to get involved. We're on Facebook. We're on airlineshouston.org, greenartsfest.org. And lastly, I wanted to mention, I have to leave, unfortunately, because I'm showing an art show up in the Heights. I brought posters, but it's not in the East End, it's in the Heights. And I'm actually very, very interested in creating a community arts center over here on the East End. I'm a theater person by background. I have my MFA in Theater for Youth. I'm focused on children's theater and environmental children's theater, so how we can educate kids about the environment through art. And I've got an email into the East End Management District to talk to them about a building. So if you're interested in that, I have to run, unfortunately, but I'm good friends with Paloma and Mike. So if you want to touch base with me, if you could touch base with them afterwards, I apologize that I have to go. But I'm really excited. I live on the east end. I'm from Jaffet Creek. That was the last thing I wanted to mention. Last Organic Outpost is 2 blocks from Jaffet Creek. Joe Isett got started in Jaffet Creek, and next Saturday we're having a creek cleanup event. So if you want to come and get trash out of the bayou and out of the bay, come on down to Jaffet Creek. We're an all-green, sustainable community. We've got chickens, we've got gardens, we've got good friends with Joe, and we'd love to have more people on the east end involved in our creek cleanups. So that's it. Thank you so much, and I'm really excited about being involved with you guys. So thank you very much.
Thank you for that. Next up, we have Monica Villarreal with Creative Women Unite.
Like you said, my name is Monica Villarreal, and I organize with Creative Women Unite. The organization was founded about 6 years ago, and it formed from different organizations, from other artists who came together, and we decided that we wanted to do something around International Women's Day, Women's History Month. And it's for promoting women's expression, because we feel like it's not enough of that going on. So we organize events on March 8th, around that date, and sometimes we have full-on month events. And it really depends on the group that ends up organizing. Many times we have a lot of different women coming in, and we organize different events every year. And we just gather our resources and make something happen. This year we're actually having something with Mecca, which we're really proud to do that. We're partnering with Mecca, and we're having a 2-day event. The first day is March 8th, which would be an art show. And we're having an artist call, which this is the poster. And the reason I have this here is because I have a few copies, so if y'all have a center where y'all can post this up, we're really in need for artists right now, and they're all female artists. We're not trying to be biased towards the men, we love men. So, but we just want to promote, we do, we love we just want to promote more of the women, expression, like have women do a full-on event and stuff like that. And it's just once a year, so guys don't get, all agitated about it. So this organization actually started with Last Organic Outpost. I was helping Joe Isett, with their fundraisers. And 1 month, which was March, which was Women's History Month, we decided, me and Kim Pickens, some people know her, we decided to get together and do something for Women's History Month. And ever since then, every year, women just love it, they want to continue it, and we just get, every year we get another bunch of women just encouraged to continue it. So I think it's become a really powerful event for communities, families. So please come March 8th and 9th to Mecca. Bring your family. It's a kids-friendly event. And if you have artists, please let them know about it. We have flyers over here and posters so you can put in your center. If you have any questions, let me know. Performing artists, so it's full artists. It's performing artists, visual artists, anything that has to do with art or expression, even workshops. We're doing workshops on 9th. So if you know of anybody, we're looking for a midwife actually. So if y'all know about any midwives here in Houston, we want to do a coming of age sort of like a workshop for young girls to talk about certain things that even adults don't know about, even women adults don't know about. So if you know of anything, please contact me. My contact information is on the flyer. So.
Next up, we have Matt Dietrichson, House Project in Houston tomorrow.
Hello, I know a lot of you all are very jazzed to be here. I'm wearing several different hats. So first of all, I live in a housing cooperative called House Project. Stands for Houston Access to Urban Sustainability. It's a pretty cool group. It's about 2 years old. We just opened our second house in October. So I live in a house of 10 people. There's another one with 16 people. And it's really neat. We kind of pool some resources together. So we buy food and utilities together in bulk. So it's a lot cheaper and very kind of a conscious community as far as, sustainability-wise. Kind of an intentional community is what I'm looking for. But big advocates of the cooperative movement. I'm thrilled to see these guys getting started. And if you want to find out any more about House Project, I have a little piece of paper you can write your name on. Another hat. I also work with Houston Tomorrow. We're also a 501c3 nonprofit that works on promoting sustainable development in the Houston region. Kind of advocating for improved mass transit, better local food systems, more walkable, bikeable streets, amongst other things. And a lot of that is through, we host events, film series, as well as education. Like, for example, show of hands, who knew that last week the city was requesting public comment on their parking ordinance? Anyone? No? All right. Well, oh, there we go. There's someone. All right. Kind of one of the things we do, we have put out a newsletter every week and try to let people know about these kind of things that are going on. So there's a big opportunity, and I think it's still going to go through. But so, you know, the city getting rid of the amount of cars they need and maybe enforcing that businesses actually require bicycle parking, for example. So things of that nature we do. HoustonTomorrow.org. Talk to me if you want to find out more about us. Last thing, Houston Tomorrow is a member of the Complete Streets Coalition. We didn't start it necessarily, but we're one of like 30-something different nonprofits and other organizations who are trying to get a Complete Streets ordinance passed in the city of Houston. It's something lots of cities all over the country have done, and we kind of we're going through a lull last year, but now we're really picking it up. I actually have members of the city council, Ed Gonzalez in particular, who's come out in public saying he's ready to push some legislation through city council and change the way we develop streets and change the design manual so that when streets are built, they're built in a fashion that's more hospitable for walkers and bikers. So that's a really cool group. We're going to have an event, the whole Complete Streets Week in April. I'm going to pass out something for that because I think there's also a petition for that. If you want to become a part of the coalition for Houston Complete Streets Coalition or just find out more about it, put your name on this little sheet, and there's good info on it on the back here. That's it. Oh, and I got these fun little bumper stickers that we made at Houston Tomorrow. I believe in you, all of you. There you go. Thank you.
All right, next up is Dana Stevens with Houston Normal.
Hi everybody, I think you know why we're here. We need to change our marijuana laws. They are completely outdated and unjust. It's time for change. We need it. So 3 out of 4 Americans have agreed that patients need access to medical marijuana, and our government says, no, you cannot do it. You cannot do it. Voters in Colorado and Washington have legalized for adult use, and we're behind the curve. We are prosecuting patients and just way too many people. We're in an awful economic crisis. This is a complete waste. Complete waste. We've spent trillions nationally on a drug war and billions in the state of Texas. We have incarcerated, I think, over 20 million people for marijuana. 20 million! That's huge. And if you don't smoke and you think the drug war doesn't affect you, you are wrong. What about our kids? They're getting assaulted like police assaulted physically, like from searches. I've seen really, really graphic searches. For what? For what? For a drug war? I don't know. It's time for change, y'all. We need it. This is ridiculous. Please help. Even if you don't join Normal, you can write a letter to your reps. We write form letters they're already written for you. And you just have to put your name and address on there. We have a ton of research. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. We have a lot of people in Normal that we have so much information that we always are willing to share. So please feel free to contact me or anybody. I'll do my best to stay throughout the whole thing. I don't know if I can today, so I apologize, but I really will do my best. So thank you guys so much for having us out, and Houston Normal. We love you, Texas.
Third Thursday every month.
Sorry, third Thursday every month.
All right, next up is Paloma with Houston Bee Market.
Hi, I am part of the Houston Remarket. It's a monthly market that takes place the fourth Saturday of every month on 4302 Harrisburg. That's right down the street from here. And the market is kind of an all-green local flea market. So the vendors that we feature there all make their stuff from reused and recycled goods or sell items that were previously owned. There's nothing new being sold there. There's a free swap where people can bring stuff that they don't want anymore that's perfectly good, and anybody is free to take anything that gets left at the swap. So lots of good stuff. I think I'm wearing an almost entirely swap outfit, right? And there's a recycling drop-off. If you don't have recycling service where you live, bring your recycling to us. We'll take it off your hands. And then lastly, we try to feature a lot of local live performances. So, fourth Saturday of the month, usually 11 to 4. Check our website, HoustonRemarket.com. It's kind of a fun little market we have each month.
Thank you, Paloma. Next up, we have J.D. Messenger, author, here to speak to us about his work.
Thank you. Hello, my name is J.D. Messenger. How are you? My name is J.D. Messenger, and I am honored to be the award-winning and best-selling author of this book. And I want to tell you that this book will change your life in 3 days. And when we first came out with it, in September, it set 6 best-selling records in 3 days, and I get about 15,000 emails a month, and that's the thing that everyone tells me, this book has changed my life in 3 days. And the reason it does that is because it shares the secrets of the universe. And you may find that hard to believe, and I'll tell you why. But before I do, let me ask you the question. Why is it that some people who don't go to college create billion-dollar companies, like Bill Gates, or Zuckerberg and Facebook, Steve Jobs and Apple? They didn't go to college, but yet they knew something and did something that created a billion-dollar organization, right? What is it that they knew that you don't know? It's the secrets to the universe. Now, who am I to tell you that? Let me tell you a little bit about who I am. I was told I could never go to the Naval Academy. I went, and I became a distinguished graduate. In fact, I then became a submarine officer. I joined Exxon Corporation, and I supervised the Valdez oil spill cleanup. I created a $100 billion company in 30 months. I had no idea how to make a television show, and I created, produced, and hosted the world's first entrepreneur reality television show, which was copied by someone very famous, and most of you know that reality entrepreneur TV show now. I launched a radio show on CNN. In 8 months, it was in 120 countries. And I wrote this book in 11 days, and I didn't know what I was writing. When I came out of my room after 2 weeks, my wife said to me, "What have you been doing?" And I said, "Well, I think I wrote a book." And she said, "What's it about?" And I said, "I don't know. I haven't read it yet." And that's one of the secrets. So this book goes through these 36 parables, and it explains the secrets to how do you tap into the source of innovation and creativity. I made an ebook out of this story. I'm not even an ebook reader, really. And you're going to see right over there behind this gentleman is the Publishing Innovation of the Year Award, which I won last week in New York City, for the most innovative, world's first ebook. I didn't even know what I was doing. It was an accident. Because one of the secrets is when you do what you love and you love what you do it very well. You're not doing it for fame or fortune or money or glory. You're doing what you love to serve and help others. And that's what I'm doing here right now. I'm going to put some books on the People's Library. The book's normally $22. You can take one free. If you got $3, if you got $5, if you want to pay the full price, put some money in the jar. If you don't, just take one and I'll be happy to sign it for you, okay? Because I want you to understand that you are a manifestation of the divine. You are, every single one of us, is an incredibly powerful, unique, guided, gifted soul. And the problem is, you may not believe it. And once you believe it, then you can become all that you were meant to do. So I'm J.D. Messenger, author of best-selling, award-winning 11 Days of May, and I hope I touched you. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we have Joshua Gibson representing the Peaceful Streets Project.
Actually, not very much a big speaker myself, but I am a writer. So, wrote this for you guys. This is my statement and the explanation of the group that I'm representing, the Peaceful Streets Project. The started in Austin by Antonio Bueller after his arrest. He made the Peaceful Streets Project, which is to end police brutality. And to ever aspire for a perfect union, we must first understand the mistakes of the current state that we are in. In this society, the people have been pushed aside as the authorities forget their original position as protectors. And they let ego and power control them as the common man stands aside and lets fear into his heart and willingly accepts this travesty. When people just let themselves be pushed around and their families threatened, that's definitely when the time is to come for someone to open their eyes. And someone in that city definitely is the Peaceful Streets Project. The present police force abuse their power and remain ignorant of the law in most cases. And as this continues, we create this to show that there is hope. For as citizens, we will stand up for ourselves, being there to record and account for the shortcomings of our so-called benevolent protectors. We are watching, we are aware, and soon enough, all our brothers and sisters here will be as well. We will fight, but not as they do, brutalizing, blackmailing, and strong-arming the public, individually and through the media, but instead meet their force with various apolitical, non-violent methods. We have taken up our rights as a grassroots coalition of the people, by the people, and will take direct action against the ever-growing problem of police misconduct and brutality by moving towards a society that is one day free, as I quote, of the state-sponsored institutional violence. We reserve these rights to freedom as they should be endowed upon every man, woman, and child in the United States of America and the world for that matter. What our group offers regularly is Know Your Rights projects to let others know about the laws that they have in this society and to train them to better understand how to safeguard themselves as individuals. We have cop watches where we peacefully record and take account of anything happening with the police to not only ensure that an efficient society, but protect those possibly in danger as well. The Police Complaints Department actually on Monday the 28th is the next one. It's a public-ran complaint department by the people, them coming and telling their experiences of police abuse and what they want to change in their community and any other things they'd like to add. And finally, the annual Police Accountability Summit, which is held every year. There was actually over 200 people at the last Accountability Summit, and enough money was raised, if I'm not mistaken, to buy 100 cameras to hand out to the community to make sure that people, they're given the opportunity to document this. They're given the opportunity to do for their community and help, their family and their own safety. So in turn, we have a voice, and this is it. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Next up, we have Micah with Visionary Noise. And we just want to remind everyone we do have quite a few groups, so 3 to 4 minutes is the time frame that we're trying to speak. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Micah. I'm with Visionary Noise. We work together with various groups throughout Houston to put on shows, benefit shows, as well as others. I think we've done shows with Remarket, shows with Houston Normal, shows with Last Organic Outpost. We like to feature a lot of Houston's best bands. We play everywhere from Continental Clubs to Dan Electros to Rudyard's to this amazing show with 3 stages at the Compound February 16th. It's absolutely free, 30 bands, 4 DJs. We're also selling some of these posters. So if you have friends that want to get out and enjoy music of all types, there's a Visionary Noise group on Facebook and more coming out from us. We've been doing this for 3 years and look forward to a lot more growth. We're helping bands come out with EPs now, and that's a big step forward for us, and our business model is tightening up, and we're looking forward to it. So if you've got friends into music, please add them to the group. If you want to come out to an event, this is a great one. Check out the poster. Awesome art. We've got 2 versions. Thanks.
We've got about 15 or so groups, so if everybody can just please hold the side conversation so we can give everybody the same respect that we all want. I'm up next. I'm speaking for the Houston Freethinkers. We're one of the organizers of this event. Me and a couple of friends helped start the Houston Freethinkers 3 years ago. In a couple months, it'll be 3 years. And it originally started just as an activist group, just writing online and holding protests and things of that sort. And over the past 3 years, it's evolved more into a community. We set up events such as this. We have a garden over at the Last Organic Outpost that you guys have heard about. We have a house down the street where we offer Skillshare classes. You heard earlier soap making. We've done canning, Spanish lessons, how to bake your own bread, how to brew beer. We also have a small community library there as well, Wi-Fi. We do film screenings. We have a radio show that we do every Tuesday. We put out video reports. We've started some of the other groups that you're going to hear about to focus on particular issues, but the main thing, if you take anything away from what the Houston Freethinkers is, there's more information so you can dig and go look up for yourself. We have the website, all the political aspect of it. The website is community source, open source. Any of you guys can go there, check out information. You can sign up for free. We have our own social network that doesn't share your information or spy on you. And you can, if you're a writer, you can write and host it through our website. Any opinion, we don't censor. There's no curriculum of what makes you a Houston Freethinker. If you think freely and are trying to find solutions, we probably get along even if we disagree on certain things, especially if we disagree on certain things. But the biggest thing is empowering people. That's where this is all grown to, is focusing on, pay attention to all this crazy stuff going on in the world. Now don't be afraid, let's do something about it. And I've met some of the most amazing, beautiful people in my life through this experience of being involved with Houston Freethinkers. A lot of you guys are some of them, and I'm getting to meet more of you. So if you're interested in getting involved in activism in any number of ways, whether it's writing articles, writing scripts for videos, putting on classes, going out on the streets, whatever it is, come get involved with us. Thank you. Next up, we have Andrew Bittner with the Houston Med Mob.
Hello, everyone. I'm Andrew Bittner with the Houston Med Mob. Med Mob started in Austin, Texas. I'm not sure how long ago, but since it started, it's spread to over 300 cities. And it basically takes the idea of a flash mob of a bunch of quirky people getting together in some public place at one coordinated time and doing something weird. That's what a flash mob usually is, but this is like a meditation flash mob. It's a totally different thing.
What's the name of the organization again?
Med Mob.
Med
Mob, yeah. Basically, we gather at a park usually like 4 or 5 in the afternoon on a day like today, preferably really nice outside, and circle up and have a silent meditation for about an hour, and have a sound bath, which is usually like a chant or a drum circle kind of thing afterwards, and then, as history has shown, play hacky-sack or frisbee or hang out, pretty much. For me, it's really like a community event. It is mostly about the meditation, but it's really about the community that forms in that process, really. And our next one is tomorrow, and 3:30?
4:30.
4:30? Which park are we doing it at? Okay. Herman Park Reflection Pool, 4:30 you said? 4:30 tomorrow afternoon, Herman Park Reflection Pond. Look for the people looking really peaceful.
And I just want to add that MedMob has grown to over 300 cities around the world on every single continent in the past year and a half.
Every continent. Yeah, that's about the gist of it. Medmob.org if you want to go on the interwebs and find some information about it. Yeah, it pretty much it is what it is, and it's a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it tomorrow. We do it every month. Thank you.
All right, next up we have Brianna Moore with Fluoride Free Houston.
Hello. So I'm Brianna, here representing Fluoride Free Houston. We got started here in Houston in August of 2008, but we were inspired by Fluoride Free Austin, who kicked it off a couple years back. Basically, our mission is to remove fluoride from Houston's water, or at least the additional fluoride that isn't naturally occurring. If you guys aren't aware, we started fluoridating water in the 1940s. And basically what happened was you have all of these aluminum mining companies, bauxite mining companies, that have this toxic waste known as hydrochlorosillic acid is a byproduct of their mining process. Sorry guys, I'm nervous. So they're kind of looking for a way, like how do we get rid of our waste? And they decided to call some dentists and get them to do a couple tests, and they figured out, well, maybe fluoride has some topical benefits for our teeth. Long story short, we start putting it in the water, thinking that the water washing over our teeth is going to somehow, stop tooth decay for the people that don't have access to dental care or don't have the desire to take care of their own teeth, so they get someone else to do it for them. But yeah, as Fluoride Free Austin likes to say, that idea, or the time for that idea is past, and we're fully capable of taking care of ourselves. The 4 points that we like to point out is that it's a violation of our civil liberties. It takes away the individual's right to choose if they want to medicate themselves in that way. Also, it's a huge waste of money. We've signed a contract with Mosaic, which is the company that Houston and most cities around the U.S. get their fluoride from. $5 million that the citizens of Houston are spending to add this poison to our water, which brings me to the next point, that it is a poison. Even on the FDA website, it's classified as a poison. So there's various health concerns related to fluoride and the ingestion of it, because as I said before, it's only beneficial when applied topically, not ingested. So I mean, the health concerns, I can go on and on about them because it's cumulative. So you have to think of all of the different ways that adding fluoride to the water affects you, because you're not just drinking it, you're also showering in it, you're washing your clothes in it, it's going into watering the food that you're eating, so then it's in there. I mean, we're way overexposed to it. And then there's also the environmental concerns, because also, as I said before, this is a toxic waste. It's not, I mean, at first, before they started putting it into the water, they were releasing it into the air, and then you have farmers and people complaining of their crops dying, of their livestock dying. So, this is very harmful to the environment. We need to figure out another way of disposing of it without storing it in our bodies. Yeah, so those are our main points that we're trying to get across. Basically, our goal is to just raise awareness, because a lot of people either aren't aware that we're fluoridating the water, or are under the impression, due to the ADA recommendations, CDC, and on and on and on, that it's actually helping them rather than harming them. So we've been going to city council meetings. We have the support from 2 of the council members, Helena Brown and Jack Christie. And coming up on February 1st, we're actually having our next event. We're doing a potluck and film screening at the Real School, which is over at 2805 Wichita. If you guys aren't familiar with that, is anyone representing them today?
Yeah.
So you'll hear a little bit about them later, but that's our next event. As I said, it's February 1st. If you want to come out, we're going to be screening Fluoride Deception, which is an excellent documentary based off of a book by the same name. So if you guys want to come figure out how you can get involved, then please do that. See you there.
And next up is Taylor Bloom with HUN.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Joe Boone. HAN is not the animal, it's the abbreviation for Houston Exchange Network. It's an idea we came up with based out of Austin that's mimicking their black and yellow pages, which consist of a few hundred businesses in and around Austin, dentists, auto shops, grocery stores, local farms, and bakeries and whatnot. So what the HAN plans to do is connect local businesses to individuals wanting to coalesce and support not only their community overall, but their local economy, building stronger relations, and kind of just basing it off going from there. Another aspect of HAN is decreasing our dependence on the Federal Reserve note. So using like a barter system, silver, our exchange rates, and other methods of exchange to reach our goals of getting something or serving something. So we try to connect bakeries, artists, schools, and auto shops, pretty much any local community or business that wants to take part, and HAN is welcome. So we have some flyers on the table. Feel free to talk to me about it and check out the flyers afterwards. You can check us out on facebook.com/Houston Exchange. So, thank you.
First of all, can we get a round of applause for this awesome community we have here? It's really exciting to highlight to other people who have sometimes a backwards view of not only Texas, but specifically Houston, to show them all the amazing things that really are going in this community. So I'm glad to see that. So next, me and Cody are briefly going to talk about, we have a business together that's called Organic Gardens for All. I started doing gardens about 2 years ago. I took a 3-month bike tour and I rode my bike from Houston to New Mexico, wolfing worldwide opportunities on organic farms, and just volunteering on farms and camping out, and really learning a lot about that. My grandmother has a farm, so that's kind of where my interest comes up. And when I was on the road, I bought a bunch of non-GMO, non-hybrid seeds, and came back and started trying to do that. Shortly after that, I met Cody, and I don't know, what happened with you?
We got a job together, and growing your own food is just the coolest thing ever. So why not teach people how to do that?
Yeah, our goal is basically, if you go to organicgardensforall.com, we will use Federal Reserve notes, dollars. If you want to use that, we will barter it with you. We'll take silver, we'll take gold, we'll work for dinner if it's really good and helpful and awesome. And it started out with just selling the seeds and planting and doing that stuff, but more and more it's evolved to just sustainable landscaping in general. So really any project, whether whether it's just like clearing some land or building something or just selling the seeds, we're just focused on trying to get people to become more sustainable however we can. And so that's our goal with that. And Cody's going to talk a little bit more about some of these other businesses.
So I like to be balanced as much as possible. So I do online work and I like to do work with my hands. So that's why I do the garden work. But the online work is what I'm going to talk about now. I do SEO work, so basically if you have a website and you want people on Google to recognize what you're doing, you want to be on the first page, I will get you there, one way or the other. You know, we'll talk about it more in detail, but SEO, that's one of the things I do, and the other thing is that's my baby right there with the red light on.
Oh.
And
Not me.
my camera, and so if anybody needs film work or help with editing or anything like that, give me a shout. I have my business cards over there, right there, and let's show the world basically what you're doing with the camera and with websites. So thank you.
I can help you. And next up we have P-Funk with the Tar Sands Blockade.
Hi everyone, my name is P-Funk. I'm with the Tar Sands Blockade. We are a direct action campaign working against the tar sands extraction, and specifically the Keystone XL pipeline, which will bring tar sands all the way from Alberta, Canada, right here to Houston. Tar sands are the most destructive form of fossil fuels on the planet. There's a forest the size of New York State that's being clear-cut in Alberta, just so that these fuels can be dug up out of the ground and brought here. The potential for leaks is extremely high, which threatens to poison Texas's waters, which are already in severe need because of the drought. So as I said, we're a direct action campaign. We've done 16 actions so far. Our most recent one being actions targeting TransCanada's headquarters here in Houston at the beginning of January. Also in Houston, we've done a lot of community organizing in refinery communities, particularly Manchester. Our organizing there includes interviewing people and amplifying the voices of community members, as well as hosting free stores regularly to show mutual aid to these people who are suffering because of the fossil fuel industry. Also, we had 2 activists do a hunger strike for 46 days in protest of Valero's corrupt practices and their blatant poisoning of the communities. Today, actually, in solidarity with actions that are happening all across the Northeast, we did 2 banner drops, one here in Houston and then one in Diboll, just north of here in Angelina County, where construction of the pipeline has actually stopped because we exposed the fact that TransCanada was trying to build on county land when they did not have a contract with this county. TransCanada is an extremely corrupt corporation. They lie and cheat landowners out of their land all along the pipeline route, from Alberta all the way here to Texas. On Monday, we're planning an action in solidarity with Idle No More, the First Nations movement rising up against the Canadian government. Thank you. Personally, myself, I've been here in Texas for 6 months, but only in Houston for a few days now. But I'm planning on being in Houston for a long time. I'm really excited to get to know this community and get to know everyone here. I'm really interested in working with everyone here. So if you want to come up and talk to me, see how we can work together, we have a lot of need, and it seems like there are a lot of great people who can do things here to help us out. So thanks.
Where are you from?
I'm from Eugene, Oregon.
Next up is Joseph Zinner with Heal It Forward.
Hey y'all, I'm Joseph Zinner. I have a property called The Farm. It's Philanthropy, Health, Adventure, Retirement, Meditation, Manifestation. It's an acre that we're building some sustainable housing on. We do a ton of spiritual events. If you guys want to do an event there, come talk to me. We usually take love donation. What I'm here to talk to you guys about today, though, is a group called Heal It Forward, which we are helping people raise funds for organizations like charities, nonprofits, bands, radio stations like Local Live Houston we're already working with. The beauty in that is I know something that JD might have in his book, and I'm not sure, but it's a secret of the universe, and it's a wealth secret. It's about leverage. It's about leveraging the abilities of others and leveraging groups to create incomes for groups. We're doing that through the deregulation of energy, which Warren Buffett calls the greatest transfer of wealth in human history. Basically, for the first time that I've ever seen, I'm a chemical engineer. I've been studying energy and alternative energies and whatnot. For the first time in ages, alternative energy is actually cheaper than non-alternative energy, which is huge. And I mean, it's by a fraction of a cent, but who cares? It's huge. It finally tipped the scales. And right now, I could save everyone in this room money on their energy bill by getting them to go into alternative energy. And so that's huge. The way we do this is we help organizations get their supporters to save money on their essential bills that they already pay for, and that creates a residual income every time they pay one of those bills that funnels into that organization itself. So if you could think about what would your organization be like if you had an extra $1,000 a month, extra $5,000, $10,000 a month, what would you be able to do with that money? What would you be able to create for your organization with that money? That's what I do. That's my time. Joseph Zinner. I'm going to pass this around. If anyone has interest, write it down. I might not be able to stay till the end, but I'll try.
All right, next up is Beverly D with Beverly D Organic Hair Products. Oh, should be at 350. That's right. Okay, next up we have Jorge Lugo with People's Mobile Library.
Hey guys, what's up? I'm George. A lot of you know me from Occupy or hanging out with the free thinkers. So basically, I hooked up with Tony from Libro Traficantes. I don't know if you guys are aware of Libro Traficantes. Woo! And he said, we were discussing an idea, me and a friend in New York when I was there for Occupy stuff. And we're building a People's Mobile Library. I was donated 2 bikes by Jessica Robinson, I believe is her name. And I have two visions right now. One is to put, like, attach a wagon in the back with like a close and open for weatherproof library that can still be mobile enough to move it around the city or wherever and pass out free literature, because information should be free. Or the other one could be in the front, like kind of like how they have those like raspa people, you know, selling ice cream and everything in the front, but have bookshelves on it and just kind of pass them around to people, or book for a book. You're done with the book that you bought and you want a new book, hey, switch it on people's library. So if anybody is interested in helping me work on that, we're also thinking of, hopefully if we get the help there at Mecca, that might be actually our underground library base where they have all the books. And I was also thinking, for example, organizations, like if Occupy is doing anything specific, or Tarzan's, for example, we could just have books based on that specific problem that we're targeting. And so, yeah, right now we're working on the bikes. I think Tony talked about it on KPFT at 7. And also, yeah, if anybody's interested to see me, I don't have any cards or anything, but I think we're going to start working on the actual structure for it. Not this week, but next week. And I would love any artists that can help to make it look like, you know, bring in the people to want to read these books and stuff. So, yeah. Also, Occupy Houston's always doing things, getting involved with everybody. We've got GAs every Sunday at 8 after the feeding from Food Not Bombs. So, you guys are awesome.
Next up is Geraldo Luna with the Green Party.
How's it going, everybody? My name's Geraldo. I kind of volunteer with the Green Party, and I'll probably be becoming a member. The Green Party believes in everything you guys believe in, and it's great that we're all kind of here together as a community and getting involved. I think one of the greatest things that the Green Party has to offer each and every one of us here is that we're on the ballot, which is probably one of the hardest things that some people could do, especially us as activists and people that just kind of want to see change in our communities. And I hope that a lot of y'all could come and kind of volunteer with the Green Party. It's just there's a lot of colorful people here. When I go to the meetings, there's really not too much color there. You know what I'm saying? But there's not a lot of youth either. And I see that if it's a party that's, again, has the same thoughts and dreams that y'all guys have, we need help kind of getting out there. And, you know, I plan on trying to run as a council member coming up, just to see if I can get some change in Houston. You know, for my kids' future, I got 3 beautiful kids, and I want to see a future for them. You know, you talked about water. I drink the water, and it's probably harmful for us that we may not know about, but we need to change it, and I think this would be one of the greatest routes of each one of us going to try to change everything. We also just had the election for Senate District 6, which Maria Selva was able to get on the ballot for that. She unfortunately may not be able to win because, you know, of all the money that's getting thrown at these other politicians and things like that. So if y'all could just kind of get involved with the Green Party and, you know, get involved with me, it'd be a great help. Thanks.
All right. Next up is Matt Trimble talking about the East Side Social Center.
Hey everybody, thanks a lot for coming out. This is Eastside Social Center right here, and I'm happy right now because this is kind of what this place is for. It's almost kind of a blank slate for community groups, especially really grassroots groups that are trying to do things from the bottom up without a lot of hierarchy, without a lot of profit motive or anything like that, but really working together for each other to use as a resource. So
it's really kind of random the kind of things we have here. Like in a week we might have a punk show, a touring band from New York or something like that playing, then a dance party, then a political speaker, then a craft night. It really depends on who's involved and who wants to put their energy into the place. So to me that's really exciting, and it's really exciting to see such a wide variety of things going on, but sort of with all the same spirit underneath. East Side is all volunteer run, and we have like a 10-person collective, and we make decisions together and everything, and so we're kind of disorganized sometimes, but we've been around for almost a year now and things are going well. And the other thing is that we survive just off donations and people coming to events and paying and donating in events. So that always helps a lot. We have a website, it's eastsidesocialcenter.com, and you can donate on the website, you can see what's going on. There's an event calendar, there's contacts if you want to get in touch with me or any of the other collective members. And thanks a lot for coming out, enjoy the space.
All right, next up is Broke Ass Pizza Co-op. I'm Damon, and
I'm Joanna.
I'm Nathan. And
Yeah, we're a cooperative. We just started up like three weeks ago. And there's, how many of us are there? It's like 15 of us.
or so.
Yeah, so if you work, you share the funds. We want to make cheap, good pizza. So it's $1 a slice, $2 for 2 slices, and so on. We've got some suggestion. There's a suggestion box there if you have any suggestions on the pizza and you had some today. I know we've sold out of the vegan and the vegan spicy. So quite a few people, and we're also having a logo contest. So if you draw, there's some paper. We'd love to have your ideas for logos.
All right, this is our kind of beta testing day, so we're just kind of demoing some different what we're working with, and we're going to keep revising things. So we love to hear feedback, and we'd love to have people come work too, because I think this is the cooperative model is a great model for starting something up where we can everybody put in a little bit and we can each get something out, and we want to make it a sustainable, economically viable model. So help us make that happen.
Yeah, we're going to be cooking at the Last Organic Garden as soon as the cob oven's done.
That's
so
right.
there's
Look for us in the April 6th Farm Fest deal, so we'll be there. All right.
Next up, we have Rosie, who is back there with her awesome food.
Hi, I'm Rosie Soto. It's nice to meet you guys. I'm glad all of y'all are here. I'm the owner of Love Waters from La Reina Vegana, and it's my creation of a healthy spin on traditional agua frescas. So, and I wanted to gear my business towards our community because we eat so unhealthy. So, started off at the Last Organic Outpost and started changing my diet, and lo and behold, here I am. So, then I met this beautiful gentleman here, Mr. Derek Rose, who's introduced me to these other different groups, and so I'm happy to be here, and I really want us to work together, not just stand up here and say we're going to work together, and then we leave here and everybody goes out to their own little worlds and we forget, and all we do is little Facebook texts and stuff like that. We really need to come together. We need to have more meetings. We need to really get it together. Our future depends on it. So congratulations for being here. Thank you.
Thank you, Rosie. I want to sort of just back up that statement you said there a little bit, because that was, you know, with the intention of me, Jamin, and Adam, and a few others who have helped out as this has grown. The idea was, if we just do this every 3 months, the word spreads, we can really find, I mean, think about all the things you're hearing here. I think that we can find out that everything we're looking for is already within our community. There's really no need to go outside of, whatever we call our community. And that we can help each other. We're all doing different projects and they depend upon us each promoting and helping. And hey, I have a friend who does that. And so that's the whole purpose of this. We really want to strengthen these ties. Because I know with the Free Thinkers, we do a lot of events. And through Facebook and just around town, we're always seeing other cool events and other people doing stuff that we don't always get to go check it out because we're busy doing our own stuff. So we wanted to give everybody a chance to just get to know each other better about what we're all doing. So as Rosie said, let's really use this once we're almost here nearing the end to really get to know each other and exchange information and all that good stuff. Next up, we have Janelle with the Texas Justice Coalition.
My name is Janelle Robles. I am a policy analyst for the Harris County Criminal Justice Project for the Texas Criminal Justice Coalition. We do policy work in the legislative session, but we're mainly trying to reduce our over-reliance on the over-incarceration of nonviolent offenders. It's costing us a lot of money, but it's costing us more to our humanity and to our communities because there's a lot of collateral consequences that come with being stamped as a felon. And so there's a lot of young folks who are getting caught up in the system for little to nothing, and they're poor and they don't have an adequate attorney to give them legal representation. And the system that we do have set up in Harris County really doesn't provide that representation. You're lucky if you get 20 minutes from that attorney. So they end up kind of pleading out and bargaining and pleading guilty. What else? I also work, that's one thing. So I work on the indigent defense and then diversion programs to try to prevent nonviolent offenders from being incarcerated, especially low-level drug offenders. And then the second thing, I also work with an immigrant rights coalition as a volunteer for the past 2.5 years. A grassroots coalition that every year puts on the May 1st March. It used to be like thousands of people, and I think the last one that we had last year was like 300 people. But this year I'm sure there's going to be a bigger one, so hopefully y'all hear about it, the May 1st March, and especially because we're trying to push for immigration reform, but not the kind of immigration reform that's going to continue militarizing the border and putting more border patrol at the border and terrorizing families, but the kind of immigration reform that's going to provide some pathway to legalization and relief. Especially for the over 1.4 million immigrants who have been deported and separated from their families. And we also have to address the reasons of why people are migrating here in the first place from Latin America and from other places, and how their economies have been devastated by some of our foreign policies. So that's the other coalition. And then lastly, I just want to say that I saw some Chick-fil-A over there and I was a little disturbed because I think we have to support responsible businesses, and I seriously don't think Chick-fil-A is a responsible business. So that's it. Nice to meet you guys. And I'm really excited about
All right, thank you. Well, I'm Jamie Stocker, and I am a community organizer and involved with a lot of different groups. There were groups here today that weren't able to send representatives, so I'm going to sort of speak on their behalf. The Real School, which is an unschool homeschooling project in the 3rd Ward, and there's no structure for the students. They're basically allowed to do what they wish and learn from life just as it comes. And there's a lot of room for groups to get involved, to bring programs, to help with developing structure in a way that is allowing these children to get the most out of this experience. In addition to that, the 3rd Ward Bike Shop is moving today. And what this place is a spot where people can go and spend time fixing up bikes to eventually earn their own bike for free. And but it was before under the city organization, I believe, called Workshop Houston. And now they are moving today, in fact, from 2 to 4. The shop is moving from its current location to the compound at Wheeler and Dowling, and will no longer be up on the Workshop Houston, and is now in the care of the community. All right. In other words, no one is being paid to run it. Please keep your ears and hearts and eyes open for ways to help the bike shop thrive. Thank you, Matt. And then the third one is the Reuse Warehouse. This is a place that has old scrap home building products that come from all places around Houston. Any group that is affiliated with a nonprofit can go to this place. It's off of South Main. North Main, I'm sorry. And any group that's affiliated with a nonprofit can go here and get as many of the items as you like.
And also, I just found out recently, if you are a student, that means you are affiliated with a nonprofit. And you can get away with that if you bring a student ID, you can get that.
And the last one is the Houston Peace and Justice Center. This is a group of activists that have been operating in Houston for many, many years. And right now they're in the process of going through refiguring their strategic plan. Some of us here were involved in that process and realized that there really wasn't a strategic plan. So now we're having to construct this strategic plan, and they provide resources and support to activist groups. That's what they do. So that's it for me. The next person up is Masood with Occupy Houston.
Well, my name is Masood. Before I start, I just wanted to say my appreciation for this place. It reminds me of some kind of sacred place in Iran. I'm from Iran. We have, according to media, it's only Islamic Iran, but actually there are all kind of religion practicing in Iran. I'm not a religious person at all, but I appreciate the different ideology and respect them. Debbie and I, we've been in beautiful churches in Iran, synagogue, Jewish churches and more. But there is a place from Zoroastrian, there is a Persian religion, old Persian religion. And one thing they do is, for centuries, they keep a fire on constantly. And there are like 2 or 3 people. They make sure no matter what happens outside, in that place, this fire keeps going on. And this place reminds me of that. You guys are keeping the fire that has started with Occupy Houston, but you're keeping it on, and I really appreciate it. I had the opportunity to work with Bernard. This guy with his camera, these are the modern historians. You know, all of you have camera. In 10 years, people are going to appreciate your work so much because the picture, the video is so important for educating the next generation, as we learned from the past generation in the books and articles. But George, Sherry, the J-Man, I know Occupy Houston was one of the organizers of this event, and I really appreciate it. Last night we had a good event, actually, about Occupy Houston and in relation with Egypt. One thing I mentioned, and that's my point today to say, is the concept of 1% and 99%. I listened to all of you. By the way, Janelle, if anybody wants to organize any event, please talk to her. She's the #1 organizer. I guarantee you, I experienced with her. But what I was trying to explain to our friends over there, which is different memory over here from last night, is the concept of the 1%, 99%. A lot of us, we say we are 99%, but we really have to practice that. I see it as a tool, like a scissor. Any problem arise, you face, if you see you have that tool as a scissor of 1% and 90%, it's going to make it very easy. You cut it, 1%, 99%. Go forward, not 1%, 99%. Why I say that? Because among us, we have a lot of people, they still have illusion Like I have a lot of good friends they're very good activists. They do a lot for Houston, but still they have illusion in President Obama. They have illusion in the Democratic Party. They still have illusion in that 1% they're going to do something for them. So what I'm going to ask you as if I want to share my experience with you, learn about 1% or 99% and be very strict about it. There is two different classes. There is 1% and 99%. You cannot rely on representative of 1%. They come in all faces. They tell you everything you need to know, everything you'd like to know, but at the same time, at the end, they serve as a representative of the 1% and they betray. All this revolution happened in history, it betrayed because of the liberals. You know, liberals sounds good, but liberals at the end, they betray you. Not because they're bad people, because that's their ideology. They always serve the 1%. So this second phase, these beautiful people, we can do a lot. I was my share for the Occupy Islam. I'm going to get them. I'm going to do it fast. I was part of this Occupy Islam newspaper. I believe you mentioned it. We need to have a newspaper in Houston that reflects all of your work. You did a lot of work. The bottom line is unity. 99%, we have to unite. We have to come in one voice. But we can do different things. I cannot do what George does with music and guitar. I cannot do that. If I do that, nobody's going to be around. But so let's find our best and let's work together. Thank you.
Three more left, and again, I want to just commend everybody. One thing I do want to say is, I know that we have all types of ideas and people and backgrounds and beliefs, and not everybody would probably consider themselves to be an activist, even though I think everybody here is an activist in some way, whether you're dealing with politics or not. You're working in the community, and that to me is what activism really is. But I just want to commend everybody for being respectful at the times that maybe you've heard things that you don't agree with in this room, because that's how we're really going to build these bridges and focus on working together and not the differences. So thank you guys for being respectable adults. Next up we have Zoe with Food Not Bombs.
Volunteer with Food Not Bombs, and basically we promote communal sharing with our homeless population here in Houston. A lot of other volunteers, Cherie, Burnell, Joseph, Cody, Daryl, Christy, so we're all volunteers. We share food Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 o'clock, and Sundays at 7. You can bring a potluck, or if you don't have anything to bring, you can bring yourself and show up and volunteer. One of the things I really like about this is I found a lot of places in Houston, they'll make you go, and they'll have a service before you eat, and I don't really agree with that. I think that's kind of preying on people, P-R-E-Y-I-N-G instead of P-R-A-Y-I-N-G with people. And I like this because there's no, we eat with them and we're commuting with our homeless people. So anyway, thank you.
Next up we have Lupe with Countercrawl.
Hey y'all, I'm Lupe. Yeah, Countercrawl. Countercrawl is more like an event, and I'm not representative of that, but I am a part of it, if you know what I mean. You know, it's basically a representation of the community as a whole, I like to think. You know, and let me explain it first, I guess. Okay, so Countercrawl is like it's an event, arts, music, performance art, visual arts and everything, and it's been going on for maybe a year and a half now. And I've really only 2 years. Yeah, and I've only really been involved with it maybe like the past couple of months. Well, maybe 4 or 5 months. So, you know, anyone can do whatever they want for Countercrawl. You know, go to the meetings, and it's an exercise in experimentation and patience and It's just the community coming together to have these events. You know, we work with House Project. We've done it with Ray Market, MedMob, and probably more than I can imagine, but that I can mention right now. But the next one's happening next month, February 23rd on Saturday, and you know, we're always looking to get new content and new people to just be a part of it, because we've seen it. You know, the ones that have experienced it, we've seen it that we get way higher when we work together as a group. I'm talking about consciousness, not necessarily. That's bullshit. But anyways, so yeah, I'm just I guess if you want to be a part of it, you can be a part of it. You know what I mean? Because it's a community effort. It's a community creation, and you just got to drop the bullshit and just fucking do it. You know, drop the bullshit, drop the egos, and you know, we'll create it. You just got to do it. It's sort of based around bike riding. So I came here in my car. Yeah, but whatever. But you know, yeah, it's about bike riding. You know, that's a big segment of it. You know, bike riding from location to location. Maybe it's about 5 locations, and yeah, it's fun. But it's funner when everyone the more people that there are, the more funner that it is.
Next up we have Eric with Houston Indie Media.
Hi, if you guys don't know, 90.1 is Pacifica, KPFT, High Street. Hi, everybody. Hey, no, congratulations. Everybody give yourselves a round of applause for creating community. That's what's happening. Congratulations. Thank you. I'm just here to kind of document. Houston Indie Media is a show. It's a local news show that covers local events here in Houston, social activist events. We've been covering the tar sands extensively. I went out to Livingston and hung out with you guys for a few days. It's every Friday from 7:30 to 8. Basically, I'm just here to do interviews with anybody who is involved in organizing the Houston Community Coalition or any other organizations that would like to get some radio airtime. I don't know what we'll be putting on the air this week because it is Fund Drive, but definitely stay tuned to 90.1 KPFT, Friday, 7:30 to 8.
We have a few people that are actually still on the way, so we're gonna, I guess, wait around for them. But the last person on the list is Catherine with Green Bayou.
Hey, this is my first time here. This is so awesome! I can't believe I didn't know about this before. So I'm working with this group. It's called Green Bayou. And we're working right now in Northwest Houston out in Cypher ISD with a school called Watkins Middle School, and their garden club, they call them Bulldogs Go Green. And this is the most amazing group of kids. They built this community garden using tires all by themselves, and they've been rejected for funding year after year, and they were really getting to a point where they almost gave up, and I kind of took a leap of faith over the summer. I went to this summit called Outdoor Nation, and I had no idea what that was when I went. And so they ended up, I met people in Houston that we all have one thing in common. We love the outdoors. And there's a problem right now with kids not being outside, and you can't really expect this next generation to care about the environment when their only experience with the environment is in pictures. And so we need to get more kids outdoors. And so that's what we're doing. Our strategy for this particular project is we're doubling their size of their community garden, and we're working with the Katy Prairie Conservancy to build what they call a pocket prairie, which is like a 1,600-foot prairie into the school to make an outdoor classroom. Because up in Northwest Houston, there's something phenomenal going on. When the rest of the country is going through foreclosures and this whole thing, Houston is expanding rapidly. Like, I blink my eyes and there's a new development, and it's really frustrating to see because they're not really responsive to protecting habitat and stuff like that. And so in response to that, we're putting the very first pocket prairie on a Cypher ISD school, and it's going to be at Watkins, which is, you know, very exciting for me, and because it's very bad right now. So South Prairie actually borders the Katy Prairie, so it's really cool. And I just talked to someone else, we might do one at Cy Lakes High School. And so that's basically what we're doing. I'm having a little trouble with organizing enough people in order to do like the background stuff. So on Tuesday, we're having to come up with a draft for a proposal that we submit to the district in order for them to say, okay, but the whole school is on board, the principal's on board, we just got to make sure we have something written up and have all our ducks in a row. So if you're interested in gardening or habitat gardens or wildlife or anything, it would be really great because I need a little bit of help. So, so thank you for having this. This is awesome.
So we've got, I think there's probably 2 or 3 more people who've signed up who we have heard from who are on the way. So for those of you planning on sticking around, we might ask for your attention again in the next 15, 20 minutes. But I did want to mention Beverly D is supposed to be speaking soon. She's on her way, but this lovely lady is representing her, and it's Organic Hair Care. So she has some information, little business cards here. If you want to talk to her, do that. And for now, just everybody, I think we're gonna have one more speaker and just get to know each other once we finish that. And again, we might call for your attention in a little bit. Thank you.
Yeah, there was one last word from the gentleman.
Oh yeah. Okay, thanks. This is amazing, and you are amazing, and I love everything. My friend Jessica and Nelson invited me to come here. We've got people trying to help take things that are legal, which are healthy medicinal products. We've got another lady trying to get the poison, which is legal, out of our water. We've got someone trying to protect our land, someone trying to protect our freedoms and values and virtues. Do you feel what is going on in this room? Look where we are. You know, we're not in some skyscraper, some rich, you know. I'm trying to tell you in that book, you're practicing it. Number one, you are passionate about something that is serving a noble cause. Now, I want to tell you one of the secrets. And this is no BS. But I got to tell you 2 things about me. First, I said I was a nuclear engineer. Got 12 years of physics, math, metallurgy, reactor kinetics, all that crap in my head. So I know what I'm talking about when it comes to science and physics. Number 2 is, why is a guy who was leading $1 billion company and an executive who was one of the 99 or the 1% kind of guy driving a $65,000 car outside, why is he in here talking to you, giving away his books? Because I died and I broke my neck and I left my body. And that's my story. And you can visit my website, you can hear about it. And I came back. And that's why I got tapped in. And that's how that book was written. I didn't know what I was writing. And so I'm awake, okay? I'm consciously connecting, like this man was saying. And one of the things that goes through in 11 Days of May, it explains to you the physics of this energy. You see, it's energy. Everything is energy. Nothing is solid. There's no waves, there's no particles. We are all manifesting our reality with our thoughts. And this is the most powerful supercomputer in the world. If you think that this thing can send and receive a picture, can it? Around the world, 6 times, it goes around the world in 1/6 of a second. This is 1 trillion times more powerful than this. So what you're doing, someone said, I think it might have been this, we're creating this passion, this energy. There's a term in physics for it. It's called coherence. Some people call it resonance. What you're doing and what you're making yourself feel is actually affecting 100 trillion cells in your body. There's a science to it. And when you understand this science, a lot of people just naturally do it. And what I'm trying to tell you, take that book, learn it, because every one of you can make your dreams come true. So, congratulations for serving a noble cause.
Thank you. We have one other speaker who's actually headed in the door right now. He's parking, so don't know what to say in the meantime.
Sing us a song.
Sure. Take it away.
So, in the interest of continuing to work together and not just meet, once every 3 months or whatever, TSB is looking to have a meeting to talk more about the work we're doing, as well as help get people plugged in so that we can really expand our influence in the Houston area. We were hoping to do it in this space, not this week, but sometime the following week. So, if an organizer, I'm not sure who exactly, all right, we'll come talk to you all about it. We'll get that information out there. Hope to see you there. Thanks.
Okay, and just in the building, we have Ivan Espinoza. Right on time. Yes, sir. Just walk in. Is it my turn? All right, with Dance Evolution.
Ivan, and I came to represent Dance Evolution. We get together on Sunday mornings to dance with each other, and that's what we do. And it's a nice opportunity to, in my opinion, to connect with fellow Houstonians in a different sort of way. So instead of using the English language to communicate with people, we can use the language of the body, just like our ancestors used to do during the tribal era, during the tribal times, the indigenous cultures, dancing, ritual, community, things like that. So we get together and we express ourselves, our heart's desires, authentic expression, authentic connection with other fellow beings. It's such a great environment, and it's benefited me and enriched my life so much. And it's like a playground where we can release our free-spirited side. So if you're into this, I invite you to join us, and hope to see you on the dance floor on Sunday morning. Thank you.
That's all the groups.
Or the whole, how people were talking about linking up together and keep on organizing on this. The lady mentioned it earlier, to really lead on this, community organizations coming together and working on different projects. Just how he said about his meeting with Tarzan, which is freaking awesome. This is what we're doing right now, is what we do at a GA in Occupy Houston. And if you are interested in working with other organizations, just bring it to the GA. This is what we're doing right now. This is a GA in my eyes, because we're just sharing announcements of what projects we're working in and reporting back on the things we're doing. And that's pretty much what it is. So if anybody doesn't want to wait for the 3 months and wants to still know what's going on, go to the GAs on Sunday, 8 p.m. And help out Food Not Bombs with the feedings at 7 p.m. There's 2 things to do right there.
Boom. Thank you. Did everybody sign the list?
Central Library.
Did everybody get a chance to sign? I'm going to make sure this is passed around so we can record email addresses, and any information upcoming about Houston Community Coalition can be sent out to everybody that is on that list. So please do find your name, or if it's not, your name is not on here, please add your name and your email address. Thank you.
Hey Jamie, can I say something real quick too?
Yes, sir.
Also, if you're interested in seeing more things that are going on at Eastside, we have a newsletter sign up. We put out a newsletter over email every month, all the different events and things that are going on. So if you're interested, I'll put my pin right here. Thanks a lot for coming up.
Thank you all for coming.
Yay!
The warriors who survived.
But if you could just give her your attention, please. Randa Fox is here with Not on Our Watch.
Hi, you guys, thank y'all so much. I am honored to be here, and I apologize for not getting here well before y'all did. I have an organization, it's called Not on Our Watch America Foundation. I'm 54 years old. I was sexually molested as a child. My purpose is, my vision, my passion is to bring a voice to the over 40 million adults, 40 million adults in this country alone that were sexually molested as children. 40 million adults that were sexually molested as children. We're out here, and we've been silent for far too long. And the good news is that we can make a difference. And the first way to do it is exactly what I'm doing right now. That's telling somebody that sexual abuse of our children happens every day. 1 out of 4 girls, 1 out of 6 boys will be sexually molested by the time they reach the age of 18. 40 million American adults in this country, and that's a low number, were sexually molested as children. We've been silent too long. Also, one other thing, 1 billion rising. 1 billion rising? Does that ring a bell to anybody? Okay, that's, in this world, there are over 1 billion women that will be raped in their lifetime. That goes hand in hand with what I'm talking about. We've got to stop the abuse of our children, each other, women, men. Inside of every one of us is an inner child, is a child that either you're learning how to parent or you've abandoned. And I just ask you, don't abandon your inner child. Because we need y'all. 1 billion rising. Go online and check it out. NotOnOurWatch.net is my website. I'm here and I'm not going away, so thank y'all very much for your time.